So my name is Hadija Chamberlain. I'm an effects artist on the Hearthstone team. So we do card effects, legendaries, hero skins, and pack openings, and lately a whole lot of Demon Hunter, a whole lot of Ashes Outland.
Hi, I'm Steven Chang. I'm a game designer on the Hearthstone team, and I work on the set design team. Our focus is on working on making the cards for the expansion, Ashes of Outland, and we also worked a lot on creating the new class, Demon Hunter.
So Ashes of Outland is kind of the Hearthstone take on the Outlands. This is, this wasteland of a planet where Illidan, the first Demon Hunter, he kind of rules there now, but it was destroyed by the Burning Legion, and it's this very, very iconic place in Warcraft and very, very strongly tied to Illidan. So we really wanted to bring Demon Hunters and the Outlands into Hearthstone at the same time. It's also been a really, really fun opportunity for us to kind of look at another of those just classic places in World of Warcraft and put kind of the Hearthstone twist on it. So in Ashes of Outland, one of the things that you'll be seeing is the Rusted Legion. This is this marauding band that's taken what was already a pretty apocalyptic place and just, ransacked it all over again. That's also been a really cool opportunity for us to bring a lot of these really, really classic characters from that area, like Lady Vosh, and again put this cool twist on them, both as far as the flavor and the mechanics with the prime legendaries. So you'll get to see a lot of those familiar characters from Warcraft, from the Outlands, in this cool new Hearthstone setting. So yeah, Demon Hunters are the first new class that we're adding to Hearthstone in 6 years, and it's been really, really fun, seeing the whole thing come together, seeing all the ways that the class and its identity has evolved over the course of development. So developing Demon Hunters has been really, really exciting as well, because over the time that Hearthstone has been out, we've been able to really figure out what we want each of the class identities for the first 9 classes to be, really start to hone in on what their strengths and weaknesses should be, what players really enjoy in each of those classes, and that's been great because it gives us a lot of information on exactly where Demon Hunter should fit and what the cool, exciting new things that it can bring to Hearthstone as a 10th permanent class are. So in the case of Demon Hunters, that's things like this very, very aggressive play style where they're in there themselves. They have a lot of different ways to get attacked, through weapons, through spells, through their new hero power, which is 1 mana, gain 1 attack. So you can just you can weave it in anywhere in the curve that you want, and it makes the whole thing feel very fast and agile and aggressive. They've got an archetype where you can go very wide with a lot of small minions and use that Demon Hunter soul magic to gain bonuses off of those minions' deaths through cards like Feast of Souls, where you draw cards based on how many of your friendly minions have died that turn. And they've got a control archetype where they're allying themselves with these big demons, these demons that want to be wherever the power is, and that's with Demon Hunters in this case. So we've got a couple different archetypes right out the gate. It's been a really, really cool class with a lot of just really interesting decisions, in every single turn. A lot of situations where card order and attack order and stuff like that really matters, and just it's felt awesome in the playtests. We're really hoping that people enjoy it, because it's been super fun to develop, and so far it's been super fun to play.
So for Demon Hunter specifically, where they have their own unique keyword specific to the class called Outcast, and demon hunters are generally kind of outcasted from society. People aren't exactly sure if they're good or they're bad. Ultimately, a lot of it's just driven by their power and what they think is right. And so we wanted to design a mechanic to kind of fit into that. And so we had the word outcast. And then from there, we started thinking about what types of mechanics we could do with that keyword. And so outcast gets a bonus when you play a card from either the left or the right of your hand. And this is a type of mechanic that's very unique to a digital card game space, because you're not able to shuffle your hand like you would a paper card game. And so it really makes for very interesting decisions about how you play out your hand, how you can plan ahead in future turns. You may do a certain setup turn to get an outcast card from the middle of your hand to the left of your hand, and play out the cards out on the left side first. So it really lends to the interesting decision making that you get to do as a demon hunter. And additionally, for Ashes of Outland, we also have Hadija touched upon the prime mechanics, but we also have these demons that are imprisoned. And since we're in Outland, there are a lot of demons running around, and some of them have been imprisoned. And so these demons are imprisoned, and they're dormant for 2 turns when you play them. But when they wake up, they're very powerful, and they have a very powerful effect when they awaken. So it's sort of when one of these is played, it's almost like a puzzle for both players to react to, and they can see that the effect's going to come in 2 turns, and they can try to figure a way to play around it and to maximize how to best take advantage of it. So
yeah, I think another thing, like I know I touched very briefly on the primes, but just to go into a little more detail on them, the primes are a set of legendaries for the first 9 classes, because demon hunters oppose the Rusted Legion, so they're not having anything to do with it, but also just they've got a lot going on already. So the primes are these legendaries where the collectible legendary that you'll add to your deck is a card that's very good in the early game. Generally they're between 1 and 3 mana. When they die, they have a death rattle that shuffles the prime version of that minion back into your deck. So in the case of Kargath Bladefist, that's Kargath Prime, who's an 8 mana 10/10 with Rush, and when he attacks and kills a minion, you'll gain 10 armor. So they're pretty good cards. And those have been a really fun one from both the mechanical and the fantasy side, because on the fantasy side, it's like I mentioned, these characters that you know and love, getting scooped up by the Rusted Legion and kind of remade in their image with all these weird cybernetic parts and chainsaw arms and stuff. And mechanically, it means that we can give you two minions effectively that both complement the same deck, but give you a cool early game and then something for later on in the mid to late game. And we can tune those to feel this very cool moment and this powerful minion, because there are those steps to get it first. You've got to get it out onto the board, trigger the death rattle, draw that card later. So we're hoping it creates a lot of exciting moments throughout the whole game.
Yeah, the Prime Legendaries and the Dormant Minions were especially exciting to work on, because the effects that they have and the base stats for the monocots are much more powerful than you would be able to have on a normal Hearthstone card. But because you have to go through the steps of waiting for the Dormant Minion to wake up, or have to play the first version of the Prime cards and then wait for them to come back after you've shuffled it into your deck, we were able to make much more powerful versions than cards that could be collectible. So it was super exciting to be able to work on these really flashy effects for the Prime Legendaries.
We've got a lot of really, there's so many good artists, both all of our card artists that we work with, and just on the internal art team, the people there are so talented, and yeah, they get better every frickin' set. I'm like, that was my favorite effect, but now you ruined it because you added a new one, and I've had a favorite effect for all of a month, and now I have to. It's for me at least, it's just like kind of everything about it is inspiring. Like, there's just so much cool stuff. Just like in general, you know, you can go anywhere out in the world and have like a lot of cool, inspiring reference. But even just like within Warcraft, there's so much stuff that is just like exciting to bring into this other art style, to like think about exactly what you want to capture about it when you only have like a second or two, or like a quarter of a second sometimes, to really try and distill that down. We get a lot of inspiration from just the mechanics and exactly what's on the card art, all of the lore that this character might have because they were already in Warcraft, or because like there's all this cool stuff going on with the card and the VO and all that different stuff that we can play into. So yeah, like usually there's very rarely an issue of just like, I have no idea what to do, there's nothing to do here. It's usually this puzzle of like, there are so many things I'm excited about here. What is like just the right combination of things that I can like capture that speak to that card, like the flavor of that card, the power level of that card, working well with the mechanics of that card, making sure that, you know, if it's something like a charge or a combo card, then it moves a little faster, things like that.
It's super important. Like sometimes we're working on cards and we're designing them, and like we don't have the effects in yet, and we're playtesting. And it's like, well, we definitely need a really good effect to explain the clarity of how this card works, and a lot of that's reliant on our awesome effects team, and it's really important to have effects help guide that design to make the understandability of the card much more prevalent for players.
Yeah, like the communication with like design and the puzzle solving aspect of it is absolutely one of my favorite parts. And like, as the like the effects team has grown over the years from me to you know, we've added a couple people since then, and they are just they do a lot of the stuff that you guys see now, and they are so talented, and I'm just constantly blown away by all the cool new stuff that they're doing. So it's always so exciting to see,
yeah,
and to get to work on the new expansion. We always hope that there will be people who that expansion speaks to and they're excited about it. Obviously, on a broader scale, adding a whole new class is like that's a big change. It's been 6 years, so we're hoping that that's something that's really exciting for a lot of people who maybe like haven't felt like they needed to play in a while. We're doing a couple things for returning players with like some new returning like some new games that are specifically geared at new and returning players, to kind of like give you this mini crash course in like the mechanics of the game and where things are at right now, stuff just to get you reacquainted. And then if you're a returning player in that situation, once you wrap up those games, then you get to pick a free deck from one of the original classes of your choice. If you're a new player, then you'll get that same choice of one of 9 decks when you graduate out of the newbie ranks. Demon Hunter, of course, we're starting off with a full 30 card deck once you unlock Demon Hunter. And there's a bunch of other cool stuff that's not less specifically geared at just like, hey, like it's a really cool time to like either start playing or come back to playing. Is just hopefully a really big quality of life improvement for everyone. And that's things like the new ranked revamp that's really geared at like giving you a much better sense of progression and better matches against people that are like of your same skill level, getting all these cool rewards along the way and stuff like that. And even like smaller things like the duplicate protection being across all rarity. And that just being another way to help people build out their collection more quickly and just get a lot of cards and feel like they're ready to dive in. So yeah, I feel like we kitchen sinked it a little bit.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot coming, and a part of the prologue is that it will introduce you a bit to the story of Illidan. So you start off as Illidan as a mage, and you kind of get a bit of taste of like how Illidan started as a mage and then slowly became a demon hunter. And then we also are going to have the prologue missions that will get you up to speed on that storyline. And once you get through that, then you'll be given the basic cards for Demon Hunter, along with the 20 cards that are in the Demon Hunter Stars set. So right off the bat, you'll get that. You'll have a starting Demon Hunter deck so that they can start playing with, and then so if players are interested in Demon Hunter or interested in expansion, like this is a great time to come back to the game. So we have revamped the rank system. One of the things that we found that's really important as you're playing ranked is this sense of progression that you feel as you move through the ranks. So we've changed the system. In the past, there are 25 ranks that they had to progress through, and they were done by number. And so we have broken it apart so that there's 50 ranks, and they have more distinguishable names that people can more easily recognize, like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. Legend's the same, but all the other ranks will give players a better indication of their skill level, because it feels a bit better to say, oh, I'm a gold player, and a gold player is generally above average, and in the previous ranks that would be roughly about rank 15, which doesn't quite sound as impressive and isn't as true of an indicator of how skilled they actually are. Additionally, we are making it so that you will match through the matchmaker rating, which means that you're going to be playing players of your skill level throughout the system. Additionally, we have all the ranks will be 3 stars across the board, which simplifies it, and then there'll be rank floors every 5 ranks. So it'll be bronze 10 through 1, and then at rank 5 there'll be a rank floor, and then you'll also get this thing called a star bonus multiplier. And what that means is that it'll help you progress you through the system to where you were the previous season, based off of what your previous skill level was. So if you were a gold player in the past, this multiplier will try to accelerate you to gold, and if you're a legend player in the past, you'll have a bigger multiplier, and it'll try to accelerate you back to where you were in legend. So at the start of each of these new seasons, everyone drops to bronze 10. Everyone starts at the bottom of the system, and then they will progress through at differing speeds depending on how skilled they are. And we'll try to get you through the system, and then there also are a lot more rewards in the system. They will be first-time rewards for getting to each of the rank floors that players can earn. Additionally, you'll accrue more rewards for the end-of-season chests that players have been accustomed to, and there'll be more packs in the chest, and also more cards that are rare or better that will go into your chest. And also, if you get your 5 wins for the month, you'll immediately get the card back right away, so you can start playing with it and using it. So there's a lot of improvements in the system. It will hopefully make the progression and the feel of going through ranked feel better, and it will provide more rewards for players. So it's a great change for players of all skill levels, and everyone should give it a shot, and hopefully it'll be a more enjoyable experience. See you later, Gamers Pack!
Yeah.